But I'm here with the Marc Hills, star of The Sound. I guess I'll start off with what got you started on this, brought you into this project.
It was a little over 2 years ago, spring of 2023. I got the audition notice and just put together my first audition, and I was really excited because obviously it called for climbing experience, of which I have almost 10 years at this point. So put in my first audition and then got a call back, which obviously went well, and then had a few meetings with Brendan, and the rest is history.
Yeah. And then I talked with Brennan and he said that I got to shoot on the volume, which is crazy. What for a movie this size, when I was talking with them, I thought that like only Disney movies or Star Wars gets to shoot on there. So having an indie movie like this on there is interesting. What was it like shooting on there?
Yeah, it was pretty surreal because as an actor, between shots, if you're gonna do a big action sequence and then maybe transition to a different part of the script where things aren't as intense or heightened because you're on a different chapter of the story in a different setting, typically you have that like ability to adjust and go to a different place and have that inform whatever you're doing. But since this was all on one stage, it was a bit of an adjustment of, oh, we're just doing every day here on this wall. But at the same time, it was really fun, and it was easy to make that space feel like the wall because of just how immersive that experience is. Like it's happening all around you. You look around and it's just everywhere is that backdrop. So in a weird way, it feels like you are outside, especially because the ceilings are really high and it's just this massive studio. So it was my first time working with one, and it's really surreal. And I was grateful to be able to get on one of those stages because they're really cool.
Yeah. And what got you into, you said you had 10 years of climbing experience. What got you into that? And I guess what kind of climbing do you do on your off time? And then what kind of climbing were you allowed to do on set? 'Cause I figure sometimes they don't like the main actors to do certain things because if you get hurt, that movie's over.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess I'll answer the first part of that. My first introduction to climbing was in high school. I had a math teacher from New Zealand that was really into climbing. He did a lot of climbing around New Zealand. And I'm a huge Lord of the Rings nerd, and I've been wanting to go to New Zealand like my entire life. And knowing someone that actually climbed it was just this like really surreal thing to me where I thought, how is that even possible? How do people do that? Like he is on those adventures that you get in a movie like Lord of the Rings, or at least of that scale is what it felt like. He would tell us these stories of climbing these big walls. And so I just got into climbing at that age and fell in love with it and just kept it up for, yeah, like the past 10 years. And then as far as the actual climbing that I was allowed to do during the film, obviously I didn't do anything outside that was too risky. So nothing on a big wall or nothing over maybe 10 feet. So in the climbing world that is bouldering, I got like basically really intense with bouldering in a gym because that's the most contained and arguably one of the safer forms of climbing. I went to the Refuge Climbing Gym in Vegas on my off days and just went to town. Because that's a really cool gym too, because it's got a lot of like local climbing legends. Jonathan Segrist and Emily Harrington was there climbing at the time. And so I was enamored with seeing these people. And Timmy Kang, shout out Timmy Kang, who is a super, super gnarly climber.
Yeah. And Alex Honnold was in this as well. So do you guys get to go climbing when you're not shooting or anything like that?
I didn't do a full day with Honnold, but I did on the Rainbow Wall shoot, which is the first sequence of the film. It's B-roll of Alex and Brett Harrington climbing, stopped by Honnold's place with Brett to pick up a rope to go climbing. So that enough for me was like really cool. I was like, wow, this is climbing on Alex Honnold's gear. This is crazy. It was a really cool day for me. Yeah.
Nice. And so looking at your IMDb, I didn't get to watch this before interviewing you, but it seemed like you've starred, wrote 11 episodes, and directed an episode of Elephant Department. Is that, what can you tell me about that? Because it looks like you're pretty well involved in that.
Yeah, that's a sketch group that I started in college with a bunch of friends of mine. And most of that is new media. So it's all like web series and sketches that we put onto the internet. But the bulk of the stuff we do is actually live theater in LA. So for since college, so about 6 or 7 years now, we've been putting up shows around LA.
Is so there's nothing like online that someone you can point someone to, or is
Yeah,
it
no,
is
absolutely. We have a YouTube channel called Elephant Department. You can go check it out.
oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
We have a boatload of sketches on there.
Yeah. Do you have any other ambitions behind the camera, or was it just for that? Or did you want to do write or direct feature films?
I see myself writing. I do write. I'm always writing something. And so, yeah, I do see myself at some point. Maybe not directing. I think that I'm not really familiar enough with the technical aspects of production to feel comfortable as a director. But creatively, I do. I love writing. And so acting,
Yeah.
ideally, in something that I've written is definitely going to happen down the line for me.
Yeah. It's also a lot easier to go two helicopters crash in the air. Here, shoot it. Okay.
Yeah, instead of like, how is that going to happen, boss? Oh, I don't. I have the answers. No, I'm not going to pretend like I would know how to get any of that done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations on the sound. It was a real fun movie, and I don't have the info in front of me, but it's available now. I, but I want to get a movie recommendation from you, something that's either a movie that's personal to you or something that's this is really good and no one talks about it. And also something that you've done in your past that you're particularly proud of.
I would say, as far as a film recommendation, I saw this film recently that just stuck with me. I thought it was so brilliant. It's called Perfect Days. It's a Wim Wenders film. I think he did it in 2023. It is a brilliant film, and I thought it was incredibly underrated. Nobody was really talking about it. It was recommended to me by a friend, and it's just a very intimate, like meditative, slow film about one man's life just unfolding in an almost plotless manner, but it just deals with daily life and the kind of absurdities and the emotional ups and downs of just daily existence. And it is so good. I really loved that film. So Perfect Days by Wim Wenders. Check it out. And then something I've done in the past, I guess I'll stay on topic here and say that big wall climbing in Yosemite was one of the coolest things I've ever done. I did that with Scott Bennett, who was one of the climbing riggers, and he's also in the film. From the sound, we did it right after we wrapped shooting, and it was one of the most extraordinary, coolest things I've ever done. It's very terrifying, and so that's why I'm like proud of myself to have been. I'm gonna scale this wall with trad gear, which is when there's no gear on the wall, you just place it as you go, which is what we're doing in the film. And it was my first time doing that, and it was terrifying, but it was like one of the coolest things I've ever done.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I do have the info in front of me. June 27th in cinemas and on VOD. If I was more professional, I would have that already, but
All good. We got it out there.
but Mark, thanks for joining me and congratulations on the movie.
Thanks a lot, Eric. I appreciate it.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews and interviews, please subscribe to my Deepest Dream channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for your support. Take care. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews